morning children. Today we are going to discuss the remaining periodic properties. In last class we have discussed the periodic property, what is periodic property and what are called periodic properties like ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, atomic and ionic radius, like that we have discussed. In last class we have completed atomic and ionic radii. The trends also we have discussed, how it will vary in group and period. The atomic or ionic radii increases when we are moving down the group and it decreases when you are moving from left to right in the periodic table. Okay, in period decreases, in group it increases. The reason also we have discussed, because of the effective nuclear charge. Okay, so now we are going to see the remaining periodic properties now. Okay, so first let me write all the periodic properties. What are the periodic properties we have discussed there? Atomic or ionic radii. The next one is ionization energy. Next one, electron affinity. Next one, electronegativity. Electronegativity. In last class we have discussed about atomic and ionic radii. Now we are going to see ionization energy, electron affinity and electronegativity. Okay, so first ionization energy. Okay, so this ionization energy is nothing but ionization. That means we have to make one atom into ion. Okay, we know two ions. What are the two ions? Cation and anion. Okay, so just we are going to make one neutral atom to become ion. Okay, so we have to spend some energy, okay, to remove the electron from the particular neutral atom so that it will become an ion. Okay, so the energy which is required to remove an electron from the gaseous state, the atom will be in gaseous state, then only we can remove the electron. Okay, so here we have to spend the energy to remove the electron from the atom in its ground state to become an ion. Okay, that energy is called as ionization energy. Okay, so will you remember what is ionization energy? Just copy and repeat. Okay, so ionization energy is defined as ionization energy is the energy required to remove an electron from gaseous state atom in its ground state to form a cation. Okay, this is what ionization energy. So here one neutral atom is there, any atom. Okay, so here just let me take here A. Okay, the atom. Here from the atom we have to remove one electron. Okay, so loss of electron. When an atom releases electron, okay, losses electron, it will become cation or anion? Good, it will become cation. Okay, A will become A plus. Just one example, sodium, when it loses its electron, it will become Na plus. Okay, so here simply it can't last. Okay, we have to spend energy and we have to remove the electron from the atom. Okay, so we have to spend energy here. We have to give energy. Then only it can remove the electron outside, so that the neutral atom will become ion, cation. Okay, so this energy is known as ionization energy. Okay, to make an atom into ion. Okay, that energy is called as ionization energy. Okay, so here now we are going to see how the ionization energy varies in groups and periods. Okay, so first let us discuss the group. In group, so in group, if you notice here, in group, okay, all this periodic property, ionization energy, electronegativity, electronegativity, just we are going to discuss the atomic radius only. Okay, using the radius only we are going to deal the remaining properties. Okay, so in group we know, in group the atomic radius, okay, the radius increases or decreases. In group the radius increases when we are moving from hydrogen to cesium. Okay, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, okay, like that when we are moving down, okay, the radius is increasing, like that we have said. Okay, so when the radius is increasing, hydrogen, next to lithium, the electron will enter it, second shell. Next for sodium, the electron, the last electron will enter it, third shell. For potassium, the electron will enter it, fourth shell. Okay, so like that the size is increasing. The last electron is entering in the next shell. Okay, so size is increasing. So the last electron is now quite far away from the nucleus. Okay, the effectiveness of the nucleus will decrease when it's going far away from the nucleus. Okay, so easily we can remove the electron here. Okay, when we are comparing with hydrogen nucleus is present, electron is present here. Okay, just compare here whether which will require more energy, whether the hydrogen or the potassium. Which will require more energy to remove the last electron? Hydrogen will require or potassium will require more energy? Really, hydrogen will require more energy. Why? What is the reason? Because the electron is present closer to the nucleus. Okay, nucleus means what? Positive. Okay, here this electrons are negative. Okay, the positive and negative they will attract very closely. Okay, very firmly. Okay, so so it is very difficult to remove this electron when you compare it with the potassium. Okay, see the potassium, the last electron is entering in the 1, 2, 3, 4th shell. Okay, electrons in 4th shell. Okay, so when you are comparing here, the nucleus attraction will be less. Okay, so when we are moving down the group, we can say ionization energy decreasing. Okay, why it is decreasing? Because the radius is increasing. The last electron is present far away from the nucleus. Okay, so it will require very less energy to remove the electron. Okay, so in group, radius increases so that ionization energy decreases. That's all. Okay, in group, radius increases so that ionization energy, the energy required to remove the electron will decrease. Okay, so nuclear charge effect is decreasing here. Okay, because the inner electrons are present here, and this inner electron also can shield the outer electron. Okay, so that the attraction of this nucleus towards the last electron will be very minimum there. Okay, the next one in period. Okay, this is a group. Next in period. In period, just you tell me, in period, what about radius? In period, atomic radius decreases. Do you remember? Because the electrons are entering in the same shell, so the effective nucleus, the nuclear charge effectiveness will be maximum. Number of protons inside the nucleus is maximum, but the electrons are entering in the same shell only, so easily they can pull towards itself. Okay, so the size is decreasing, like that we have discussed in last class. Okay, detailedly we have discussed. Okay, so here in period, radius is decreasing, so that now you can guess ionization energy. What about the ionization energy? Now radius is decreasing. Here hydrogen. Okay, let me take hydrogen, helium, and equilibrium. So let us go to the second period. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Okay, so the size is decreasing. I said, just say lithium size. Next beryllium size, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Okay, so the size is decreasing. Okay, so when the size decreases, the here. Really it will be neon because the size is very small. When the size is small, then the electrons are closer to the nucleus, so it is difficult to remove the electron. So we have to spend lot of energy to remove the electron. Okay, so in period the size is decreasing, so that we have to spend lot of energy to remove the electron. So the ionization energy is maximum. So in period radius is decreasing, so the ionization energy is increasing. That's all. Okay, can you understand what is ionization energy and what is the trend of ionization energy in period and group? What is ionization energy? Ionization energy is nothing but is the energy which is required to remove an electron from the gaseous atom in its ground state to form a cation. Okay, to form a cation. So here we are spending the energy. Okay, so based on the size we have to spend the energy. If the size is very small, then it requires more energy. If the size is large, it requires less energy, because the attraction of nucleus towards the last electron will be different, okay, based on their size. You can understand, I think. Okay, so just go through this ionization energy and copy it. Okay, next we are going to discuss electron affinity. Okay, now I am going to write this one. Just copy it. The next periodic property here, electron affinity. Here affinity, what is the meaning for the word affinity? Affinity means affection, desire, love. Okay, so affinity towards whom? Electron. Electron affinity. Okay, one atom, it wants to gain electron. Okay, it wants to attract, it wants to gain one electron and it wants to become anion. Okay, such property one is called as electron affinity. Okay, so in order to gain one electron, the atom will release some energy. Okay, that energy is called as electron affinity. So here you have to be very clear. In ionization energy, we are spending energy to remove the electron. Here in electron affinity, the atom will lose energy to gain electron. Okay, so that the atom will become now anion. In ionization energy, the atom becomes cation. Okay, so just see here, one atom, any atom. Okay, just any one atom, it gains electron. How it gains electron? By releasing energy. Okay, by releasing energy from the atom, it gains one electron and it will become ion. What type of ion it will become? When one atom accepts electron, it will become cation or anion? Good, it will become anion. Okay, when it accepts electron, it will become anion, M minus. Okay, here the energy, this energy is expressed in kilojoules per mole. Okay, the unit is also given in your book. Just mark it as a 1 mark question. So let me write the definition here. Okay, just repeat with me. Okay, electron affinity. Electron affinity is nothing but this electron affinity is the amount of energy. Amount of energy released. Okay, it is released. Who is releasing here? Released when a gaseous atom, gains an electron. Gains an electron to form its anion. Okay, the unit for this electron affinity is kilojoule per mole. Okay, per mole, how many kilojoules of energy is released there. Okay, like that we can measure this. One more question. Okay, so here let us take one example, chlorine. When chlorine accepts electron, it will become Cl minus and it loses some amount of energy outside. Okay, so here we can guess. Okay, otherwise we can think why it should gain electron. Okay, why it is gaining electron? What is the importance of this chlorine to gain electron? We know every element in the periodic table, one or the other way, in some way they want to attain the noble gas electronic configuration, isn't it? So who are noble gases? In the periodic table song also you have learned. Who are noble gases? Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay, so every element want to attain this noble gas configuration. What is the noble gas configuration? Okay, do you know? I hope you will remember. You have learned in your 8th standard, 9th standard. Okay, 2,6. Okay, 2,6. Now the motion should have 8 electrons. Okay, the S and P orbital should be filled there. Okay, so here all this helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, when we write the electronic configuration, they have the complete octet rule. Okay, it will have complete 8 and 2,6 electronic configurations there. Okay, the noble gas configuration. So they want to attain. If you notice this chlorine, the chlorine it belongs to 17th group. When it gains only 1 electron, it will become Cl minus. Okay, when you are coming to 11th standard, you will learn what is electronic configuration and all. Okay, so just simply I will write here. This chlorine is 17. When you write electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Okay, 10, 17. So if you notice here 2,5, but here what we need 2,6. That means it needs one more electron. If it gains only 1 electron, it can become noble gas electronic configuration. Okay, so that's why because of the reason it gains 1 electron. Okay, by releasing the energy, it is gaining 1 electron, becoming Cl minus. Okay, so this is electron affinity. Now we are going to see the trends. Okay, how it will vary in group and period. In group, first let us discuss it. Group. In group, this is also we are going to discuss based on the radius only. Okay, so in group, the radius of the elements, okay, the radius of the atoms are increasing in group we said. Okay, so gaining 1 electron, 1 more electron it has to gain. Okay, if the nucleus is closer, to the valence shell, then easily it can show its effectiveness towards the incoming electron, so that it will pull the electrons towards itself. Okay, so the electron easily enter into that atom. Suppose the nucleus and the valence shell are far away. Okay, far away from each other, then it has to spend. It cannot spend such effectiveness to hold that incoming electron. Already so many electrons are present around it. Again it has to accept 1 more electron. It has to gain 1 more electron. Okay, so it has to spend its energy towards the last valence shell. Okay, if the valence shell is closer, that means the radius is small, then easily it can gain the electron. If the radius is large, then it is quite difficult for the atom to gain electron. Okay, so now in group we know, in group radius increasing. When the radius increasing, okay, that means this is the nucleus. The last electron is presented in 5th shell. Let us imagine like that. Okay, this is the valence shell. Now 1 more electron is coming here. Okay, 1 more electron is coming. So this nucleus, it has to spend its energy to this extent. Okay, to this large distance. Okay, till that end it has to spend. Okay, it is quite difficult for this atom to accept the electron. Suppose if the size is small. Okay, suppose the size is small like this. Okay, here now the electron is coming. Here among these two, who will easily gain electron? The small radius or the large radius atom? The small radius atom easily gain the electron because the nuclear force is very closer to the incoming electron, but it is quite far away, so it cannot hold the electron such firmly. Can you understand? Okay, so in group radius is decreasing, so that electron affinity, the attraction towards the electron will decrease. Why it is decreasing? The nuclear charge, the nuclear charge effectiveness is decreasing. Okay, so you remember when radius increases, electron affinity, the affinity towards electron will decrease. Suppose the radius is increasing, so radius is decreasing. Where the radius will decrease? In period. In period, when the radius is decreasing, electron affinity increases. That's all. Okay, just you have to remember the radius. So easily we can write the trends in group and period. Okay, just go through it and make a notes. This electronic configuration, no need to worry now. You will learn this one in 11th standard only. Okay, just to show you, I have written here. Okay, so electron affinity over. Just copy it. Next we are going to see electronegativity. This electronegativity is nothing but already the bond will form. Okay, the bond is present between two atoms. Okay, so in that situation, okay, one bond is nothing but two electron we know. Okay, do you know that one? Yes, one bond is nothing but what? Two electron. Okay, so among these two members, who is going to pull the electron towards themselves? Okay, that means one will be stronger and another one will be poor. Okay, so the stronger element will pull the electron towards itself. Just now we have discussed here, no, the chlorine. Chlorine, if it gains only one electron also, it can attain the noble gas configuration. Okay, so such elements are present in one compound means then the element will try to pull the electrons towards itself. Already it is a shared electron. It may be a shared electron, but it wants to pull the shared electron towards itself so that it can become the noble gas configuration. Okay, so because of that reason, the elements will pull the electrons towards themselves. That property is called as electronegativity. Okay, already the atom A and B. Atom A will donate one electron, B will donate one electron, so that both will form one bond between them. After forming bond, the element which is more fond of electron, okay, which has more affinity towards the electron, it want to become the noble gas, it want to attain the noble gas configuration. Just it will take this electron also towards itself. Okay, this electron already belongs to B atom only, but it want to take one more electron also. Okay, it is not taking fully. If it takes fully, just we can call this as ionic bond. Do you have learned the types of bonds? No, covalent bond, coordinate bond, ionic bond. Like that we have learned. Okay, so suppose if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay, already you have learned. Suppose if you want me to teach, you can ask. Okay, so ionic bond means just one atom lost electron, another atom will gain electron. Okay, such type of bonds between the atom A and B is called as ionic bond. Okay, one will lose and another one will gain that electron. One will become plus and another one will become minus. Plus and minus, then the electrostatic force will form. That is called ionic bond. Here the bond formed here, it is covalent bond. Atom A also donates one electron, B also donates one electron. Equal sharing. Okay, both will share their one electron so that they can form one bond. This bond is called as covalent bond. After forming covalent bond, here one atom is stronger. Here the stronger means one atom want to attain the noble gas configuration by taking another atom's electron means, okay, just pulling it towards itself, not taking entirely, just pulling towards itself. This property is called electronegativity. Okay, so now let me write the definition. Just you copy and repeat with me. Electronegativity. Electronegativity of an element is the measure of tendency of its atom to attract the shared pair. Okay, already it is the shared electron. The shared pair electron. The shared pair of electron towards itself. In a covalent bond. Okay, I said no, it's actually covalent bond. Okay, both are sharing one electron. Equal sharing of electron is called, okay, covalent bond. Okay, so from the covalent bond, one atom wants to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. This property is called as electronegativity. Okay, now this electronegativity, again we are going to deal with the same radius only, how it will vary in group and period. Okay, so first in group what about radius? Radius will increase when you are moving from top to bottom. When the radius increases, okay, suppose this atom is bigger atom, okay, the radius is large, okay, then when the radius is large, the size is large, it cannot attract the electrons towards itself. Why? Because the nucleus and the outer shells are quite far away. They have quite high distance, okay, quite large distance. So it cannot attract the electrons towards itself such attractively, such firmly. Okay, so when the radius is increasing, the attracting the shared pair of electron towards the atom will decrease. Why? Because of the nuclear charge. Effectiveness of the nuclear charge will decrease there. Okay, that because of the distance. Okay, so when the radius is increasing, the electronegativity, the attracting a shared pair of electron towards itself will decrease. Why it is decreasing? Because of the nuclear charge. Because of the poor nuclear charge. Okay, the radius is quite high. Okay, the next one, inferior. Easily now you can say inferior. Now tell me, inferior, what about the radius? Radius will decrease. When the radius is decreasing from left to right, okay, radius is decreasing so that the atom easily can pull the electron. Radius is decreasing means the nuclear charge is more there. Okay, so easily it can attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. Okay, as we discussed for chlorine. Okay, first just I have written from beryllium to chlorine. There you have to see now. So easily they can attract the electrons towards itself because of the size is small. Okay, the radius is small. So in period, radius is decreasing. So the effective nuclear charge will be greater. The nuclear charge effectiveness will be greater so that it can attract the shared pair of electron easily towards itself. So electronegativity is increasing here. Can you understand? Okay, here I said when one atom accepts electron, it will become ionized. Then the bond formed between them is called as ionic bond, I said. Okay, so here using this electronegativity values, we can say how many percentage, whether equal amount of ionic and covalent characters present or lesser amount is present, or which character is more there, like that we can identify. Okay, so for that Pauling gave one formula. Okay, what is that formula here? When the electronegativity value, electronegativity is mentioned with the symbol X. Here X is nothing but electronegativity. When the electronegativity of XA, atom A, and atom B, XB. Okay, when the difference between this XA and XB is equal to 1.7, that is the difference, that is XA minus XB. Okay, I will give the values now for some elements, then we can see. Okay, so when XA minus XB, the difference is equal to 1.7, then we can say it has 50% of ionic character and 50% of covalent character. Okay, both character are present equal amount. Okay, Can you understand? Already the bond formed here, it is covalent bond only, but the electron, this electron is shifted, otherwise it is shifted, we can say. Okay, it is pulling this electron towards itself. Okay, so here it is going to form partially minus now, because it is going to accept this electron. This A is going to lose this electron. It's partially plus. So here the bond formed here, we can say it is ionic bond also. Okay, after pulling the electrons towards itself. Okay, so how much of covalent character is there? How much of ionic character is there? Okay, we can find. Again in 12th standard, we are going to see in detailed way. Okay, detailed we are going to see this ionic and covalent characters. Okay, using this electronegativity concept. Okay, just it is one introduction. Okay, how we can find. Okay, the next one here, suppose the XA minus XB value is greater than 1.7, then ionic character will be more than 50%. If the difference between the electronegativity of these two atoms is less than 1.7, then covalent character is more. That means ionic character is less than 50%. Ionic character is less than 50% means whose character is more there? Covalent character is more than 50%. Okay, so simply you can write here ionic character is less than 50%. Will you remember? Okay, in 3-mark question they can ask. Okay, there is no 5-mark. So is in 7-mark question they are asking 1 2-mark, 1 5-mark, otherwise 1 4-mark, 1 3-mark, like that they are asking. So we can expect this one. Okay, so what is electronegativity? What is the electronegativity trend in group and period, and how we can identify the bond character, the covalent and ionic bond character in a particular compound. Okay, using the Pauling value. Pauling gave this value, and electronegativity difference is equal to 1.7, 50% ionic, 50% covalent. When it is more than 1.7, more than 50% it is ionic character. When it is less than 1.7, okay, more than 50% covalent character. That is ionic character will be less. Okay, can you understand? Okay, then I will give you some electronegativity values for some elements. Fluorine electronegativity value. Okay, the X value, electronegativity value 4.0. Then for fluorine 3.0. This bromine is 2.0. Then for iodine 2.5. For hydrogen 2.1. For sodium is 1. Just see here NaCl. Okay, let us take NaCl, which we know, which is very familiar to us. Okay, NaCl. Now NaCl is present. Na value is how much? 1, and Cl value is 3.0. Okay, this is Xa. Now this is Xb. The difference between them 3.0 minus 1. So we will get what now here? 2. Okay, so if the value is greater than 1.7, then the bond formed between them is what here? Ionic bond. Okay, so many times you have learned here what type of bond is present. NaCl means really you will say what type of bond? Ionic bond. Okay, so many times you may repeat in your lower classes. Okay, suppose if you forget that also, just you can remember now. Okay, so here sodium will lose electron and chlorine will gain electron. Sodium will exist in Na plus form and chlorine will exist in Cl minus form. Okay, so the maximum character present here is what character? Ionic character. The bond formed between them is maximum ionic bond. Okay, can you understand this? Suppose if they are asked in 2 mark also, they will give you the Xa and Xb value. This value they will give, then they will ask you to find which type of bond is present between this compound. Like that they will ask. Okay, so just copy it and go through it, read line by line.